video is Learning Target 9 in the Ecology Unit on Biodiversity. Biodiversity is a term that we use to denote the variation of life on a planet or in an ecosystem. And so this could refer to, and again, ecosystems. It could refer to species, or it could refer to even genetics. And so we're going to break these three down. When we talk about ecosystem diversity, this is talking about the number of different ecosystems on the planet. And so if you think about all the different ecosystems that are on the planet, we have lots of different kinds. Here's an ecosystem. This is looks like some sort of alpine ecosystem, maybe higher in the mountains. And so we have rainforests, we have forests, like temperate forests, like the kinds we have around here. We have like swamps and all these different kinds of ecosystem. And so we have a particular type of diversity of ecosystems. And as damage is done to the planet, we might lose ecosystem diversity. Species diversity, this refers to the different number of species on the planet or within a given parameter. It's like you could say the biodiversity within the Kentucky Lake region, or biodiversity in the continent of North America, or you could think about the biodiversity in the whole world. And again, here's a picture of showing some different biodiversity. You would expect to see the most biodiversity, of course, around the equator. This is where the most energy is. This is where all the plants are. This is where all the sunlight is. And as you move out towards the poles, where less energy is, you're going to have less and less biodiversity. And then lastly, the concept of genetic diversity. This is going to refer to the number of different genes in a species. Individual organisms will differ in their specific genome. So this refers to the total different kinds of genes in a population. A population that has a wide amount of genetic diversity is going to do better than a population that has a low genetic diversity, because one that has a lot of genetic diversity is going to be able to adapt quicker, be able to change. Cheetahs, as they are in the pictures here, are a great example of an organism and a population that has a very low genetic diversity, and this is causing the cheetah population in Africa to collapse. They are no longer able to adapt to their surroundings, and they are an animal that is on the decline because of this lack of genetic diversity. Now, biodiversity can be considered a natural resource. Biodiversity contributes to lots of fields of science, including medicine, which you see here. This is a type of plant that has a particular kind of medicine in it that is part of cancer treatments. And so once they figured that out, they began growing fields of it. Well, they wouldn't have figured it out if that part of the rainforest that it was found in was destroyed. And so if you think about biodiversity as a resource, as biodiversity decreases, these resources that we don't know about are lost to humanity. And our ecosystems and our populations will suffer as a result of that. And so that's where we come up with this idea of conservation. Conservation is a very important part of ecology. This is the act of preserving species or an ecosystem. This is just the act of preserving that biodiversity. And so there's some owls there. These spotted owls are typically kind of the poster child of conservation, and they they have these large protected areas and make people upset. But protecting these species is a very important part of making our helping our ecosystems to survive. Conservation is often enforced by laws and regulations on hunting and fishing, pollution, water management, different things. And species are usually given different grades according to their level of danger of extinction. You know, you've heard of these levels before. You've heard of endangered or critically endangered or extinct. And so these levels and these kinds of terms that are really commonplace in and among even non-scientific types, these are important because it educates the public on the importance of biodiversity to humanity.